You know what time it is. Time for me to grace your screens for another 5 to 25 minutes, depending upon how long I want to ramble on. Today's the 18th of August, which means there's not much summer left. In fact, it is 7:30, and there's about the same amount of sunlight now as there would have been at about 8:30 a couple of weeks ago. So that's kind of sad. Which means that there's going to be students again at work, and I don't want to deal with that. I won't have to deal with the first weeks because I'm going to be taken off on vacation. That's just how it worked out this year. Is the first week of a lot of classes happens to be the week of and the week after, or within the 2 weeks that I'm taking on vacation for Hamfest. So not much I can do. I mean, last year it wasn't quite that tight. My vacation's already approved, so that's how it's going to be. So, anyway, speaking of that, I'm hoping that people haven't forgotten that we were supposed to be doing our little group call to discuss specifics about that tonight. Because so far I ain't heard nothing from nobody about whether or not we're going to have it or not. And last year we had it at the beginning of August, literally August 1st. It's now been 19 days since that, almost an entire month. And I'd like to get things booked before we end up in a situation where there's nothing left for all of us, because it's not like it's just me. It's that there's all these other people. I'm trying to think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 1, 2. Me is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like 6 or 7, we'll say. Yeah, that's not an insignificant chunk of a potential hotel's supply of single bed rooms, And I suppose that some people could get a double, but that'd be kind of awkward, at least in my opinion. Not undoable, but just a little weird, considering I've never done that before. And given the option, you might as well not. Plus, there's the whole money aspect. I don't know how I'm going to pay for that yet. Whether I do it now or do it later, I guess it's going to depend how much it costs. Because I've got some, I've now got the rent payment for the other place, the rent payment for the storage unit, plus other things. The car, insurance, etc., etc. That's all going to happen now. So, it's not an insignificant amount of money, and it's not like I can't afford both at the same time. It's just that it'll be tight. And I'd rather not use... I'll put it to you this way. I'd rather not run up a bill on a credit card and make it more difficult for me to pay that off later. Especially now with the way that interest rates are going, if I can actually speak. And then, you got the gas costs, you got this, you got that. Not a fun time to be had by anybody, to be honest with you. That's just the way it is. I guess we'll find out. I'm pretty sure that you can. I think I did last year. You can have it set up such that you make the reservation, but it's a non-paid reservation. And I think that's a case of you can cancel it. I think that's what that does, is that it means that you can cancel it if things change, and my health being what it is. I don't know, because there's that too. The most recent thing that's happened is I've developed a very, very nasty cough. and it ebbs and flows, it comes and goes, but last night it was so bad that I had to just straight up abandon everything and go right to bed because it was terrible. And I need to see a doctor about it. I think it's probably related some way to the wildfire smoke from earlier this year, because I've had it for a while, but it's been markedly worse ever since that happened. So I don't know. It's probably my own fault for going to work in it. Don't know what to say. Anyway, 5 minutes. It's 7:30, 7:37, and I think I'm going to call this good. So, Hamfest on the way. Videos are continuing to be edited and uploaded. I've made some, well, I would call it significant because there's at least some square footage of room in there now to put things. I just have to reorganize and clean up some of the stuff that I had to move to get. I got one of the bins out, basically. Bin of clock radios I finally moved. There's another giant bin at the back that I'll have to move. It's actually empty. I'm going to put the camcorders in there. But I got some cameras that need videos first before I take that out. So, I think the lid's got some crap on it because somebody knocked a can of pop over on top of it. And, didn't bother to clean it. So now I gotta do it. Sometimes I swear people really just don't understand. I want to get the Mac Plus out of there too. I need to make a video about that, but I want to fix the hard drive. There's a HD 20SC that I bought, even though it's not really a 20SC anymore. It's got a 160 megabyte hard drive in it. Somebody replaced it, either because it failed or they wanted more space. I don't know. But that needs a power supply recap, at the very least. I think the drive is good, but I think the power supply just needs to be recapped because it does some weird things now. When I first got it, it would turn on and off reliably every time. But now, you can turn it on and turn it off, but if you try to turn it on again, it does not turn back on. You get trickle amounts of voltage and current, so I don't know. So, probably capacitors, that'd be my guess. It's usually what's wrong with those. But I don't know if there's a listing of what caps you need, and I don't really want to tear that power supply apart without knowing what I'm getting into first. I don't think it's really strictly necessary for operation of the thing anyway, so what I might end up doing is getting one of those power supplies, like those wall bricks, that's got the little end on it that you just plug straight into the drive. I might just do that, because the drive itself is just connected straight to the SCSI bus on the back, so. Anyway, but that'll have to get done. I have a couple of Zenith Super Sports that I have to deal with. I've got an Atari 400 I have to deal with. And its associated TV, because there's a 13-inch, I think it's a 13-inch, might be a 14, but there's a TV in there that I've had in there because I was going to use it for the Atari, and it's been sitting in there for that entire time, so. There's some stuff that can come out of there and get dealt with. But it's just that I have to find not just the time, but the motivation to actually do it. So, it's the same reason why all that stuff is still there. Well, not the pump, but the rest of that stuff. That's why it's still there. So, anyway, there's my video. Don't have anything else to say.